Stop guessing. Today I'll teach you the only structure you need. Take a high probability trade. This is a break of structure or a change in character. A 15-minute fair value gap needs to be created. We will enter on that 15-minute fair value gap step, and this is a smart money entry. Why do I know it works? I trade this live every day in front of you. Why does it work? Institutions create structure. We follow structure. We wait for a clean break of structure. Then we enter when the price returns to a clean 15-minute fair value gap. No indicators, no guessing, just rules. Now I'm going to explain how we trade this. We do this on a 15-minute based chart. So this is a 15-minute based chart, and hindsight shown how it works. So we had a clear move up, and we had a change in character right here once we broke a previous low. So this was the low, that was the high, it got broken, so we had a change in character. It means that the market is tend to change its way of moving. We had a patience when this change of character broke out. We saw a move back up to 15-minute fair value gap, and then we are trading from this 15-minute fair value gap, stops at the high, back to the lows. Why do we enter on this 15-minute fair value gap? We take our FVG tool. We set the changing characters movement from the high to low, and once we get above that 0.5 level, we enter on that 15-minute. We do not enter a 15-minute below that 0.5. We wait until that retracement is above that 0.5 level, so that's a fair value of price that we get, and then we enter to the downside. Where do we take TP? We take TP at lows that was shown already in the way up. So if we are trading the short, we are taking first TP at the first low, second TP at the second low, and if we have the full movement to the downside, we can enter a third TP even low. So again, I'll explain it very clearly. So what happened here? So we had a nice movement up. So we had a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Here we had also a higher high. Now, after this, we created a lower high. So once the higher got broken, we created a lower high because this candle or this line chart actually closed below the previous low. This means that we actually made a change in character. After that happens, we have the patience until we have a full retest of that change in character. After this change in character happens, what do? You take your FVG tool, and the only things that needs to be on it is the 0, the 1, and the 0.5. Once this happens, we draw that FVG tool, and we are patient. This is just the first move. After a first move, we always get a retest for done to see that continuation to the downside. So once it hits, we took a 15-minute fair value gap just above us. We entered, stops at the high. That would look like this. So this is that fair value gap. We take it and we take it to the next TP. That would be in a 3R. If we took it even further down, that could even be a 5 to a 6R. Second TP would be here. Now, what's a break of structure? Say that you didn't have that first entry. Perfectly fine. That can happen. So say that you were not online on this one and you saw a change in character happen. After we take out the previous low, after the change in character happened, we had the retest. This move down made a break in structure. Break in structure means, you will see it on my screen, it's a BOS. That means that the market broke its previous structure and is continuing to the movement what we want. Say that this move happened. Okay, we take again our FVG tool and we take it from the break of structure to the previous. We come again above that 15-minute level, above that 0.5 level. We look for a fair value gap created out of it. If we have a 15-minute fair value gap also created here, we can enter on that tab on a 15-minute fair value gap. Stops can be placed then at that previous high. You don't need to take the full high, you can just take this high. What do we target? Again, the low where the market came from. This is the first TP then. Where can we fully take it? Of course, on a higher time frame, you will find liquidity pools. If you want to know how to find and spot liquidity pools, join the bootcamp, I'll explain this in full. I'll show you now a live example chart how we actually took this live in front of everybody. So I'm coming first to this chart, and then I'll join exactly what we showed. Here we had a move down. What did we do? We had a change in character right here. The market moved down. What did we do then? We had a retest. I'll even show you on the chart. So what did we do? We came above that 50 level. You can take it from the candles, or you can take it even further. It depends on how you draw your fibs, of course. I recommend to draw it the wick and the topper part from where the market actually starts to move. I would recommend. So this was the start of the move, and this was actually the end of the move. So this would be actually the full move that we took. So you could have said this is a 15-minute for value gap, so we could have entered here. I would recommend to take it a little bit higher. If you find an upper one, you can also take the highest one. So this would have been a 15-minute retracement of that gap. That could have been your entry. Stops at the high. Where do we target it? Of course, first low or this TP right here. So that would be a low that we can take in. If you want to be a bit more secure, this would be your first low, of course. Once we break that low, that shows then that we have a break of structure to the downside. I'll even show you, if you took that trade, what this could be worth. So just to that first structure, that was a 7.5 R that you could have made. Simple strategy. Stops at the high, that would be a 4.7. Even if you took it on that first value gap just here, I'll even show you that one, that still would have been a 1.3 R traded. If you took it to the second TP, that would have been a 2 R. If you took it from the high part, just the value gap, of course, that would have been a 6.1 R. This trade I did not trade live. I'm just showing this structure because I need it for the next movement so that you know where we're at. The only thing we need to know if we're trading break of structures and changing character are how the market is moving, of course. Now, after the market moved down, we made a new low. So this was the full break of structure, this move. We take our flip tool again. Exactly the same like I did before. So we want to see an entry above that 50 level. Look what we had. We had a 50 level above it. So anything above stops at the high means that we can short the market again. So the market came. We could have entered on any level. I did not enter on any levels at this point because I was not online. What did I do? I was patient enough to see that the market did not get above that high, and we saw another structure forming to the downside. This trade was done live in front of you. Here we had a structure to the downside, a shift to the downside, and this was the 15-minute entry that we took. Here we had an internal break of structure to the downside. We tapped a 15-minute for value gap. Again, we had patience for the retests. Then where do we take it to? Of course, this is the first low that we take it to, because this is that structure retest. So where should we go to? At least this low. So for explaining what I mean by at least that low, here, once we made the break of structure to the downside, even if we took out TPs, we had a retest. I said TP1 should be at this low. This is exactly the same what we done here. So this is exactly what we saw here. So we had the break of structure to the downside right here. Again, listen carefully. This is important. If you get this, this is exactly what I teach in the bootcamp itself. So break of structure downside. We have to get the retests. So this is the move, fully to the downside. We got above that 50 level again. Once we get above that 50 level, we can enter it. Stops at the high. I just had patience because I wasn't online on this level, so I couldn't trade off of it. I only come online around 8, so we were here online, and this was the first move that we got. So we created a value gap. I was patient until this was created. We had the retest off of it. We entered on it. So our first TP should be the lows, because this is the retest of that breakout structure. In a line chart, this would look like this. This was traded live in front of all of you. That was the entry that we took. We took a short, stops at the high, and we targeted the lows. Now, I'll show you exactly what happened afterwards. This would have been take it first TP right here if you wanted to. If you held through, never came back to your entry. If you are correct, it never can come back to your entry. That was full TP. This took a while to play out, but it perfectly formed the structure. This is what we want to do. We want to have clear movements, clear direction, clear entries, perfectly formed. Live traded in front of you, there's nothing better than this that you can get. If you want to see me trade this live every day, join the free trading academy, link in description. And if you want this strategy applied directly to your trading with accountability and psychology trading, the bootcamp link is also just below. If you have any questions about this and you're already in the Discord, send me a DM. I'm happy to help you.